Haas's Romain Grosjean escaped serious harm in Bahrain, while Lewis Hamilton says it wasn't meant to be with Ferrari. You can now watch full 24-minute episodes of The Inside Line at our new home on unbeaten.com. Haas driver Romain Grosjean has emerged relatively unscathed from one of Formula One's most horrific accidents in years, with just minor burns to his hands following a sickening high-G crash through the barriers on lap 1 of Sunday's Bahrain Grand Prix. The Swiss-French racer escaped the wreckage and further injury, despite suspected fractured ribs that were later cleared after X-rays, with his opinion of the halo changing in his post-race update from his hospital bed.
Hello everyone. Just wanted to say I am okay. Well, sort of okay. Thank you very much for all the messages. I wasn't for the halo some years ago, but I think it's the greatest thing that we've got for Formula One, and without it I wouldn't be able to speak to you today. So thanks to all the medical staff at the circuit, at the hospital, and hopefully I can write you soon some messages and tell you where it's going.
Recovering racer Romain Grosjean will be replaced by Haas reserve driver Pietro Fittipaldi in this weekend's Sakhir Grand Prix, marking the 24-year-old's F1 debut under difficult circumstances. Fittipaldi, grandson of great two-time F1 world champion Emerson, has tested both the team's 2018 and 2019 cars and was an easy choice, according to team boss Gunther Steiner. Fittipaldi is already a multiple series champion in Formula Renault BARC, MRF Challenge, and Formula V8 3.5. He's also had 6 starts in IndyCar and raced in Germany's DTM series last year. 7-time F1 world champion Lewis Hamilton has said that a stint with Ferrari just wasn't meant to be, with the Brit never close at all to leaving the Silver Arrows since he joined in 2013. Hamilton is yet to sign with the squad for 2021 and beyond, but reiterated in Bahrain he only had eyes for Mercedes, with a new contract extension just a matter of time. I think this is the only team in the history of the sport where you're a long-life family member, he said. Hamilton has been powered by Mercedes-Benz for the entirety of his F1 career, including at former team McLaren, where he made his Grand Prix debut in 2007 alongside Fernando Alonso.
Wow, I'm extremely proud. I got signed to Mercedes when I was 13, so it's great to each year come back and continue to cement the trust and belief they had in me when I was that young, and be a part of this incredible family and the history and heritage.
Lewis Hamilton's former McLaren race engineer Mark Temple has said the now 7-time F1 world champion is at his very best when he's on the back foot, needing to up his game. Temple joined McLaren in 2003, but first worked with Hamilton from 2008, when he saw the Brit's supreme ability to bounce back, as revealed to F1 Nation, the sport's official podcast.
There'd be a bit of initial stress, frustration, venting that perhaps over the radio. We've all heard the kind of driver, Lewis complaining over the radio, the car's undrivable or whatever. But then get that out of his system and then get his game head on, and the next day just come up and smash it.
Temple says Hamilton's biggest career strength, tyre management, came as a result of the 2012 Spanish Grand Prix, when he was stripped of pole for breaking minimum fuel regulations. The Brit went from the back of the grid to 8th at the flag.
The only way to get anywhere in Barcelona you can't overtake was to outdrive everyone else using tyre management, and that was like a sort of a real switch on point. It's like, okay, this was really important now, and put his focus into it and then just turned it around.
Carlos Sainz's first test in a Ferrari could be in a 2018 car at Fiorano, with pre-season testing limited to just 3 days next season. Sainz will saddle up for the prancing horse next year, but the 26-year-old knows getting up to speed will be tough, with half that time again. 1 day and a half in an F1 car, these complex cars, is not enough to prepare for an F1 season, he said. Sainz has been drafted in to support Scuderia sweetheart Charles Leclerc, but the ambitious Spaniard has other plans.
Obviously, my target is to fight for a world championship as soon as possible, and in that moment, I hope that the Spanish fans will turn on their TVs even more than they are turning them on now, and we can all enjoy a fight. But until then, hard work and dedication.
Ferrari already ran its 2018 car, the SF71H, last month at Fiorano, where its driver academy members Mick Schumacher, Callum Ilott, and Robert Schwartzman all got seat time. Sergio Perez has admitted it's F1 or bust next year, with no plans to race in other series should he not land a Red Bull Racing drive. Perez, who has been dumped by Racing Point for next season, is waiting on a decision from Red Bull as to whether they're keeping Alex Albon on for another year, his only option to stay on the grid. But despite admitting he's at the peak of his career, he's not keen to race in another series in 2021 as an alternative. "I will take a year to consider what I want to do if I really miss it," he said. Most of the drivers, they retire and after 6 months they go mad and they want to do whatever is available. Saudi Arabia has again defended its place on the 2021 draft F1 calendar, stating that it's about opening its borders to tourism, not sports washing its human rights record. Saudi Arabia will host its inaugural Grand Prix next year, a night race on the streets of Jeddah as the penultimate round on November 28. But it's not been without criticism, with Amnesty International one of the most outspoken on what it sees as positive PR designed to deflect from human rights abuses. Saudi Arabia's motorsport boss, Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Faisal, says, however, that people will change their mind on the Middle Eastern nation once they visit for the race.
Motorsports for us is very important. So we would like to host these events as long as we can because our local people here in Saudi Arabia, they like to attend these events and they like to be entertained and to meet the people from all around of the world. So this is something very important for us.
Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff has backed the sport's plans to retain the current turbo hybrid power units beyond 2026, but says costs must be front and center for any changes moving forward. F1's power unit manufacturers have collectively spent more than $1 billion on developing the 1.6-liter V6 power plants, which have been in use since 2014. But with the auto industry divided on a future direction, be it battery electric or hydrogen fuel cell electric, the sport has instead opted to develop sustainable fuels in reducing emissions. But in firming up the 2026 regulations, Wolff says the price to pay for the soon-to-be 3 manufacturers must be considered. "I believe we should look at the costs. Developing a completely new power unit is not somewhere we should go," he said. Lance Stroll has said Racing Point's detection of a front wing issue at the Turkish Grand Prix has helped him move on from finishing 9th, despite more pain in Bahrain, dramatically crashing out at the restart. Stroll blasted to an emotional maiden pole in Istanbul, having made the most of a drying track on intermediates. But while he confidently led from the start, persistent graining forced a second stop. And for him to drop back to finish a disappointing 9th, while teammate Sergio Perez came home 2nd from 3rd on the grid. "Now that we've understood why the tires didn't perform as expected, I can take the positives from it all," he said. The first stint, building a lead, showed what is possible, and it's all useful experience for the next time we're fighting up near the front. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.